Good morning, all of you. Today we will start with the first chapter in history, World During Modern Age. World, World During Modern Age, page number 5. Alright, so first chapter in history. So the obvious question would be, what is history?
Study of the past.
Okay, study of the past. So history is the study of the past. Now, if it is the study of the past, why we study it in our present? Why we need to study it?
Ma'am, to learn about the past.
Yes, Aranya?
Ma'am, to learn about the past.
Alright, to learn about the past. Is that the only reason that we study history? Just to learn about the past? Now, why
Ma'am, for
learning about
knowledge.
the past is so important? That I want to know.
Ma'am, because if we don't know about the past, we will not be able to know about the present.
Alright, because the past helps us to understand our present better, and it also helps us in our future. So we study past because many times students are like, why study history? It is a story of the past, an ancient period, and kings and all who ruled in the medieval time, and now the Britishers are not here. So why study about all of them? Now we need to study about them because whatever we are today, it is because what happened in the past. So we need to study our past to understand our present better and also to make our future better for us. Now, history in India, it has been divided into how many periods?
Ma'am, ancient.
How many periods?
Ma'am, three. Three.
Three periods.
Ma'am, three.
All right. First period?
Ma'am, history, and second is prehistory, and third is protohistory.
No, the history in India is divided into, we are talking about different uh, differentiation. According to the different
Ma'am,
periods that we
ancient.
had. Yes?
Ancient.
Ancient. Then?
Medieval period.
Okay, ancient, medieval, and
Modern.
modern. Okay, so history of India has been divided into three main periods. These are the three main periods. Obviously, it is further divided in the different periods. So it is divided into ancient, medieval, and modern. Uh, class 6th, what did you study? Which period did you study in class 6th?
Ma'am, ancient.
Ancient period. Okay, can anyone tell me what you studied in class 6 in the about the ancient period? What you studied? Anything that you remember that you studied in class 6th in history?
Ma'am, forgot.
Yes, beta?
Ma'am, forgot.
Forgot. Now that is really bad and disappointing because you study so that it stays with you. If you study well, then obviously you may forget most some of the past, but obviously some will remain with you if you have really studied well. All right. So no one here studied history well in class 6. Can't you tell me anything about what you studied?
Ma'am, about the Indus Valley civilization.
All right. So you studied about the Indus Valley civilization. And anything else? Before that also you studied something before the Indus Valley civilization? When we start from the earliest period. You don't you remember you studied
Ma'am,
about.
Chalcolithic age.
All right. So you studied about the different stone ages. You studied about the Paleolithic age, the Mesolithic age, the Neolithic age. You studied also about the early man. Did you not study about the early man?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you studied about the early man, and then you studied that first he was just a hunter and gatherer who moved from one place to another, lived in caves and all that, and then you studied that how he with time he learned how to cultivate and he settled down. You also studied about the establishment of the first villages, then the first cities. You also studied about the first empire, and all that. So this all you did in class 6. Okay, then we move from, now that was a different period, that was the ancient period, and in ancient period we study basically about the Hindu rulers who ruled during that time. Now from there to class 7th, in class 7th you studied about the medieval period. Now what did you study last year in history? Yes, come on class 7.
Ma'am,
Yes, Yoshita.
ma'am, about the Mughal Empire.
Okay, so you studied about the Mughal Empire.
And ma'am, the Sultans of Delhi also.
Okay, so you studied about the Sultans of Delhi. That is called as the Sultanate period. And you know why history is divided into these three periods? Because each period is different from the other in terms of society, in terms of culture, in terms of economics, means trade and money matters and all that, and in terms of governance also, means politics. So that is why these periods are separate from each other. Now medieval period is important. Why? Aditri, yes beta, mute your mic. Now, medieval period, basically, we say that it starts from the time when the Turks and the Arab rulers, they came to India. So we study about the Muslim rulers in the medieval period. You also, and before their coming, you studied about the northern kingdoms and the southern kingdoms, and so all this about the architecture, how it was so prominent and advanced during the Mughal period and all. So you studied about that. You also studied about the, before that you studied about the five dynasties of the Sultanate period. So that was the medieval period. Now in class 8 this year you'll be studying about the modern period. Can anyone tell me what distinguishes, what is the main thing that sets apart the modern period from its preceding period, or what you called as the medieval period? So what is different? Like I told you, what was different from the ancient period in the medieval period was the coming up of the Muslim rulers here in India. Now, what was different in the modern period from the medieval period? The main thing.
Ma'am, Industrial Revolution.
Anything else?
Ma'am, rule of the Britishers.
All right. So, for India, like when we are talking about India, so the thing that separates the medieval period from the modern period is the coming of the British to India, or the coming of the European powers to India. Now, when we say modern, all right, when we use the word modern, so what things come to your mind when we call anything modern? We say that the person is modern, that country is very modern. So what do you understand by that term modern? Yes, anyone? Like sometimes when we speak about the western countries, European countries, we say that those countries are quite modern as compared to us. So in what sense we use that term? No one here? Now the modern period. Now when we say modern period, we basically want to talk about the industrial revolution, and we talk about the advancement of science and reasoning and technology, and uh, the establishment of railways and all that. But India during this period, now if you remember, we were under the control of the Britishers. So we were like slaves to them, and they were our colonial masters. Now colonization, or India being a British colony, now what that means is that India was under the political and economic control of the Britishers. Now political control means that we were ruled by them, economic control means that they had control over our money, over our revenue, over our trade and everything. So India was a British colony. So what we mean to say is that we were under the political and economic subjugation of another country, that we were under the control of another country, means over our politics and over our economic matters, we were under the control of another powerful country. Now the period which others call modern, now during that time we were like slaves, we were like servants. Now can you call that period really modern when you are controlled by someone else?
No, ma'am.
All right.
No,
So,
ma'am.
many historians, they don't like to call this period as modern. They prefer to call this period as colonial. All right. So, they don't prefer to call this period when we were under the control of the Britishers as modern period. They prefer to call it as colonial period. Okay. So, now during the course of this year, in history we'll be studying about like in this particular chapter we'll study about what were the main things, main happenings, main events in the world that ushered in, that brought in this modern period. And then we will study that how the Britishers and the other European powers, they came to India, how Britishers, they established their rule here, and how they exploited the Indians. And then we will also study that how finally the people, they got together, they realized that they needed independence. And so we'll study about a national struggle for independence and India finally getting free. So all that we will study during the course of this chapter. Okay. Now let's start with the chapter. Now we have already seen that the history of India, it is divided into ancient, medieval and modern periods. And like I was telling you that this has been done, this periodization has been done to show that the society, the economics, the politics, the culture of each period, it was different from the other period. And now the differences between the medieval period and the modern period, now they are very specific, they are very basic. And why? Because the changes which were brought about in the modern period, they have been much faster and they have brought much more results than before. Now you have already studied about the ancient and the medieval period in class 6 and 7th respectively. And now this year we will study about the modern period of India. Now this covers the period from 1707, that is from the 18th century. So from 1707 till 1947 till the 20th century. Okay, so when it is written like 1707, so that is 18th century. Now if we talk about 1857, what century would that be? What will you call that century? 1857, which century would that be?
19th century.
Yes, 19th century. Alright, now the modern period, it started in Europe first. So it started in Europe in the 15th and the 16th century. But I told you that at that time we were a British colony. We were not free rulers, free country. We were under the control of a different country. So this modern period, it came in India much later. So it came in India around the 18th and the 19th century. Now so we are talking about modern period and we are talking about a time that is in past. So what sources of information do we have that tells us something about this modern period? Now for the modern period, we have abundant sources which tell us about the modern period. And these sources have been divided into two: primary source and secondary source. Now the primary sources, the main sources, they include literary sources. Now what would be the literary sources? What do you understand by the term literary sources? You have studied this in class 6 also and 7th also. Yes.
Ma'am, that are in written form.
All right, that are in written form. So the primary sources, they include the literary sources. Now which literary sources? Like we have the reports of the government, the real reports of the government, and their storerooms where they have kept all these records in a proper chronological order. So we have the archives where all these reports have been kept properly. And then we have some we also have books, and we have even artistic evidences like the paintings, and also some archaeological remains like monuments and artifacts. So these are the primary sources. Now what would be the secondary source? Whatever historians say after studying the primary sources, now whatever they say on the primary source, now that would be the secondary source, and they are available to us in the form of reports and reviews and articles and books written by different people. Now first, printed books. We'll have a look at some of these sources in a little detail. Now during this time, modern time, printing press, it was invented. And so because of the invention of the printing press, we have a lot of books, and both in Indian languages and in foreign languages, and they throw a great deal of light on the different aspects of the people during this time. And here, since we are talking about India, so they throw a great deal of light on the different aspects of Indian life. Now these books, they also tell us that what progress was made by man during this period in different fields, like in medicine, engineering, technology, art, literature, history, and so on. Now then we also have government documents. Now India is a huge country, it is a vast country, and now we are one unified country. And though we have the central government ruling there, and we have the different state governments, we have union territories, but still it is one unified country. But it was not like this in early times, and we had so many different kingdoms and dynasties ruling India at the same time. So like I was telling you, that we have the northern kingdoms and we have the southern kingdoms. In north, so many different rulers and dynasties were ruling in small areas, and in the south likewise was the condition. And so different parts of the country, different rulers were ruling, and they had their different rules and regulations. And so many times these rulers, and since we are talking about the modern period, so during this time, the rulers and the powers, those who were ruling in different parts of the country, they exchanged their documents with each other, means the neighbors, and maybe some of the other dynasties and kingdoms which were ruling. So these rulers and powers, they exchanged documents with each other, and by these documents, through these original government documents, we easily come to know that how these different powers, different dynasties, different kings, they dealt with each other while they were all ruling together. And how finally, ultimately, the Britishers, they conquered them, they overpowered them, they won control over them one by one. And they also help us to know that what was the true nature of the British imperialists. Means imperialist means, here we talk about in that sense that they are a different, a powerful country, have invading another country and taking control over its politics and over its resources. So we also come to know about the nature of the Britishers who were ruling over here. We come to know about how they exploited our country. And so these government documents, they really tell us a lot about the history of the modern India. Then we come to know that printing press was already invented, and so we have a number of newspapers, magazine, and pamphlets, and they tell us, they give us a lot of information about the modern period. And so these newspapers, pamphlets, magazines, they were printed in different parts of the country, and in different languages by different people. And so these, they also tell us a lot about the life of the common people. And now some of these papers, they are still being published. And so what they have kept, these newspapers which are still in publication. They have kept a proper record, a systematic chronological record of their older editions in their libraries. Then historical buildings, we can still see many buildings scattered throughout the country, and especially in the big cities. And we can relate to many stories and episodes which are linked to these historical monuments. And some of such buildings are the India Gate, the Central Secretariat, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Parliament House, the Birla House, and all. And so all these buildings, they are not only our national wealth, but they also throw a great deal of light on the different aspects of architectural, in what we achieved in architecture during that time. So it also throws a great deal of light on that. Then we also have other works of art. Now various statues and some specimens of paintings, they are also available with us. And they are not only important as work of art, but they also tell us about the physical features. And so we have so many portraits of the national leaders of that time. And so they not only are a great work of art, but they also tell us about the physical features and the achievements of the national leaders and the great historical personalities. Then some miscellaneous sources means some other sources, extra sources. And in addition to all the above sources, there are certain other sources which also provide very useful information. And the most important among these miscellaneous sources are the films. Now films also throw a great deal of life on the life of the people living at that time. And when you read something, obviously you understand, and it leaves an impact on you. But when you see the same thing happening before your very eyes, then the effect, the impression that they leave on us is quite permanent. And because you see those happenings, those events happening before your very eyes. And so these films, they provide very useful information. Then we also have letters which were written by great historical personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru. And they also give us a chance to understand these great personalities, how they thought, what was their way of thinking, and what was their relationship with other people. So we will stop here for today. Have you all understood what we did today?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright,
Ma'am.
clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.